Hello, okay, so today we are going to do something a little bit different with Microsoft Flight Simulator. We are going to simulate the Expressway visual approach into runway 31 at LaGuardia Airport in New York. So let's have a look at what the chart says for the Expressway visual approach. It says, when cleared for an Expressway approach to runway 31, cross the dials intersection at 2,500 feet or above. So we're coming in from the southwest at 45 degrees, and when we cross the dials intersection we have to cross it above 2,500 feet. Then we turn right to a heading of 85 degrees and descend to runway 31 via the Long Island Expressway and Flushing Meadow Park. So basically we follow the line of the road, cross over the corner of the park, and then turn into runway 31. It says use the LaGuardia runway 4 localizer for course guidance when the VOR is not available. So basically I was saying you can use the ILS for runway 4 to line up onto, to come in at the correct angle. So we're not actually going to do that, we're just going to fly in at 45 degrees, and we're going to have a little look in Little Nav Map before we get going. So let's go and clear the map up, because I've just flown a plane out. I'm paused at the moment here. So you can see I'm just flying in from the southwest. I'm going to fly down the ILS for runway 4, and then we get to the dials intersection and we turn right and we follow the expressway. So you can see just underneath here there's a road, and you'll be able to see it very clearly in the simulator. So also we make our left turn. There are two towers we'll be able to see, two white towers. So the important bit is where we make the turn. So we come through here at 2,500 feet, or above 2,500, and then we start descending gently all the way down until we turn into the runway. So we'll probably only be about 600-700 feet by the time we get lined up with the runway, if that. So the important bit is where we make our turn, and there's a couple of reference points. There will be a stadium here. If we switch over to the satellite view, you can see there is a stadium. But more importantly, there's a fountain. As long as we start our turn to skirt around the edge of the fountain and continue the turn, we should be in a good place to come straight into runway 31. So this is a visual approach. We're not using a flight map that we're following. So we're getting to dials. We're turning right to 85 degrees now. Okay, so I've just used this because there was a waypoint here, which is quite handy. And then begin the turn around the fountain. So we follow the expressway. Okay, so let's get into the simulator and see how we get on. So we're coming in. If we look on Little Nav Map quickly, we're coming in. You can see us approaching Patchu, and then we'll head for dials. So we're wanting about 45 degrees, which we're pretty much on. So we're above 2,500 feet, which is great. If we turn the waypoints on, we can see them on the screen. They're a little bit. You can see dials just coming. So we'll come down to just above 2,500 feet. We're going far too fast. So let's get the air brakes on. So we come in at the correct speed, and remembering we shouldn't be up to above 250 knots. Too low, so let's get back up in the air a little bit. So back off the air brakes. Throttle in. So dials is just coming. You can see two white towers down here. So there's our reference point to turn at dials. So we're at 2,600 feet.
2,500. 2,500.
So we're going to start dropping the flaps. So here's the reference point. You can see here dials is just coming.
2,500. 2,500.
Okay, so we're going to begin our right turn to 85 degrees.
2,500.
And this is the expressway that we can see just here. So we're looking for about 80, 85 degrees.
2,500.
And we're dropping now, and the gear can come down. So we're looking for the fountain and the stadium. We're going to pass around the back of both of them. And this is the park that we're going to cross over the corner of. So we're dropping now. Full flaps. Okay, so we can look sideways a little to get some idea. You can see the runway from here actually. It's just there. Yeah, something's just landed there. So we're going to begin our turn. We're skirting just around the edge of the fountain. It's completely visual and just a judgment call basically. Keeping an eye on the airspeed now. There's a few different reference points you can use on the ground.
$500.
So now we're just judging visually
our
approach. That's the runway.
300. 200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
And we're down. Fixed thrust. Get first thrust off. Flaps up. Take the high-speed exit off the runway. Okay, so there we go, we survived the Expressway approach into runway 31 at New York LaGuardia. It's a great exercise to try out. A friend of mine showed it me last night, so we had all sorts of fun playing with doing the approach and trying it in different aircraft. It's actually quite straightforward in the A320 as long as you stick to those kind of those waypoints on the ground and to be mindful of where you are during the approach. So I'm just going to park here out on the taxiways. So there we are, we're at LaGuardia. That was the FlyByWire A320 and the Expressway approach into runway 31. Okay, I'll see you again soon.